Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and on this channel, we dive into all things manifestation, conscious creation, and stepping into our power to really create the life of our dreams on purpose. So if you're interested in all of that, you're in the right place. Today, I want to address a question that one of you guys brought up on one of my more recent videos where I was talking about this idea of how manifestation is very simple and just kind of in the video at some point I mentioned how what we focus on and what we believe is what we create in our reality. And one of you guys commented below and asked if I could go into that a little bit more. So thank you for asking that because side note, I love getting your questions. I love getting your requests. Please don't ever be shy. If there's ever something you want me to dive into more or you feel like you need more explanation on something, let me know because chances are it might be something other people are wondering or it's maybe even something that I've already thought of. And so it's something that I'm already planning to create a video on. Like this one in particular, I actually remember when I made that video and I was saying those things, I in my head made like a little mental note and said, I should create a video on this. So like I said, I appreciate the person that asked this and don't be shy if there's something you want to ask. So yeah, today we're going to go into that a little bit deeper into this idea that what we focus on and what we believe is what we are going to create in our reality. So like I said, I was mentioning that in another video, just kind of, it was part of the video. It wasn't necessarily the point of the video. And so today we're going to really talk about what does it mean when I say what you focus on and what you believe is what creates your reality and how that actually unfolds. So when I say focus, what I'm talking about is your thoughts, where your awareness is. So I'm not necessarily talking about your focus like with your eyes, like what am I looking at? What am I focusing on with my eyes? I'm meaning where's your focus internally? What are you focused on? Just throughout your days, throughout your life, throughout your daily routine, where are your thoughts? And it's not just about the thought itself or about the topic that you're thinking about itself, but it's also about like the layers underneath it. It's like, okay, maybe I'm thinking about this particular topic. Maybe I'm thinking about the weather. Okay. And it's not just about, okay, my thoughts are on the weather. It's also about, well, what is that making you feel? So what's your awareness? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on, and we're just going to really simplify this for the sake of helping you to understand in this video, but it can obviously go deeper than this. But in terms of the weather, are you constantly focusing on the negative aspects? Oh man, it's rainy today. Oh man, it's cloudy today. Oh, it's going to be too hot today. Like noticing, okay, where is my focus? Is my focus in a place that feels good? Or is my focus in a place that feels not so good to me? It feels limiting. It feels restrictive. It feels frustrating. It feels whatever, right? So noticing where is my focus? Because what we focus on, right, where our thoughts are, where our awareness is what starts to create beliefs. And here's the second part. What we focus on and what we believe is what creates our reality. Where our focus is placed time after time after time, it eventually forms what's called a belief. And we know beliefs are ideas that we hold that shape our perspective of the world around us. So a belief might be, just going back to the weather example, the weather's never good, right? And how did I form that belief? Because time after time I've had thoughts, it's too rainy, it's too cold, it's too cloudy, it's too hot and sunny. All over time, I start to have those thoughts and then it creates a belief, the weather's never good. And like I said, this is just an example that's really oversimplified, but this goes for every single thing in our life. We start to have thoughts, those thoughts become patterns, and then those patterns form these beliefs. And our beliefs are what shape the way that we perceive the world around us. Because here's the thing, and let me know, maybe I'll do a whole other video on this, but everything is actually completely neutral. There's no inherent meaning or energy behind anything other than that which we assign to it. So, because two people could be, like I'm saying in this example, two people could be experiencing the exact same weather, but have completely different thoughts about it. Like somebody might love a rainy day. Somebody might love how hot it is. Somebody might find a way to find the good in every single day, right? And so it's all completely neutral. We're the ones that are assigning meaning to it. And there's no like inherent, meaning to anything. And so our focus and what we believe is what then creates the reality around us. How does it do that? Because that's the lens through which we experience the world. Our perception is what creates our reality, because how we believe life goes for us and how we, like the lens that we're going to perceive it through, is what's going to constantly be reflected back to us. So you can think about it like wearing glasses. Like here I am wearing these glasses and they're a specific prescription, right? So this is the lens that I see the world through physically. And if I were to put on a different prescription, I would see things differently. That prescription might be a lighter prescription, and so things are blurry. And so then my reality is going to feel different than how it feels with these, because I'm going to be seeing things a completely different way. And I might get used to that, and that might just be how things are to me. And then one day I put these back on and it's like, whoa, okay, this is totally different. Or I might have a prescription that's stronger than this and I'm seeing things in like a laser sharp focus. And then, like I said, you switch back and it's a totally different perception. That's exactly how it goes with the perception that we create in here. So I'm talking about obviously this physical prescription, but like you can think of your perception of the world as a glasses prescription. It's a lens that you're viewing the world through, and it shapes how you see and experience the world around you. And that is what's creating your reality, because you might be viewing it, let's just say for the sake of like a prescription. Okay, let's say your prescription is -4.5. Okay. And you might be seeing the world through that, but there's other ways of experiencing the world. Maybe a -7, maybe a -2, maybe a 10, right? There's all these different ways of experiencing it, but because of your focus, right? Your thoughts, where your awareness is, the feeling that you have behind those thoughts, and the beliefs that begins to form, that is all coming together to create your perception, how you perceive reality, the lens that you see and experience the world through. And that is how you're going to experience the world, right? Because like I said, going back to this idea that everything's neutral, you could be having the exact same experience as somebody else, but because of the way that you're seeing the world, because of your perception, because of your lens, you might be viewing it completely differently. And so it's not like there's one lens that's like the right lens, or there's not one perspective that's the right perspective, but you have to ask yourself, does this feel good to me? Does the way that I'm currently experiencing reality feel good to me? Do I like the lens that I'm seeing it through? And understanding that it all comes back to you. You can start to shift it, right? This is how we create different experiences in our reality, is because the more that we start to shift from the bottom up, meaning we go inside of ourselves, we start identifying, okay, how do my thoughts about this feel? How would I like to be thinking about this? And not waiting for, I have so many videos on this, but not waiting for the outside circumstances to change to make us feel better, but just choosing it within. Like, okay, if you're somebody who's always having, we're going back to the weather example, having these negative thoughts about the weather, don't wait for the weather to give you the perfect day to start changing the thoughts. It's up to you within you to ask yourself, okay, what feels better? What type of thoughts feel better? And start thinking those thoughts now before you're even given a reason to have those thoughts. Start creating the new beliefs and patterns within yourself now before you're given a reason to do so. Start doing it now for yourself, because the more you have those thoughts, the more that's where your focus is, the more that's where your awareness is, the more you start forming beliefs that follow along with those types of thoughts and feelings, the more you are shifting your lens, the more you are changing your prescription, the more you are allowing yourself to see and experience your reality in a completely different way. And what happens is the more that you create a different, we're just going to keep going on this example of a prescription because I feel like I've never actually talked about it this way, but I do feel like it's so accurate and helpful. The more you start to tweak your prescription, and when the more you tweak your prescription, the more that life is going to show you or reflect back to you more things that are in alignment with that. So like going back to this glasses example, let's say that I had a certain prescription, and until I went and got the new prescription, I didn't realize that some things were really blurry, or I didn't realize that there were some things that I was missing. But then there I go and I get a new prescription, and all of a sudden my reality looks completely different, not because there's all this new stuff there, but there's stuff that's new to me because I wasn't able to see it before because I was having an old prescription. It was blurry. I didn't even know it was there. I couldn't fully see it. And so now it kind of feels like I'm experiencing this whole new world of reality, but it's not. It's just that my lens has changed. Is this making sense, you guys? It's all about your perspective, your perception, the lens that you are viewing the world through. That is, and because if your lens can only take in a certain amount, then you're only going to be shown a certain amount. If you are able to broaden and expand the lens with which you view the world from, then what you're able to take in is going to expand, or not necessarily even expand, but it's going to adjust to that new height. So like, let's say, for example, in terms of like, manifestation, let's say, for example, when you start to be honest with yourself and you start to kind of comb through your thoughts and start to be honest with yourself, okay, like where is my focus just on the day to day? Like, where is my focus? Where are my thoughts? Where's my awareness? And you start to notice, okay, you know what? Like I'm noticing, there are some thoughts, like there's stuff where I have a negative perspective on things, or I don't necessarily like the way I feel when I think about this, or I don't like the way I think when I feel. And so you start to notice these things, and it's like, okay, what we notice is that when you're seeing through the lens that correlates with those thoughts and those beliefs, you're only able to see the things that are a match for that. So let's say like that maybe feels, kind of like frustration and kind of like lack, like anxiety, like those type of feelings. Okay. Then you can only see and experience what's a match for that lens. So the world is going to continue to reflect back to you experiences that fit within that lens. When you start to create within yourself thoughts that feel better, you start to be really conscious and aware of where your awareness is. You start to be conscious of, where are my thoughts? How do they make me feel? What am I focusing on throughout my day? Is my focus on more so on what's going wrong or what's going right? Is my focus on, negative self-talk towards myself? Or is my focus on self-love? Is my focus on enjoyment and having fun? Or is my focus on just frustration and like muddling through? When you start to be really honest with yourself and be aware of it, you can start to consciously choose to change your lens. And so you can start to consciously make tweaks and say, okay, now that I have this awareness, which is really the first step to anything, is just being aware of it, I can start to decide, well, what would I want to focus on? What are the things I do want to feel more of in my life? And start to create that from within just by choosing different thoughts. And this takes practice, you guys. This isn't like, I'm not sitting here saying, oh my gosh, come on, just change your thoughts. It's going to take some practice, and that's okay though. That's part of the process, is becoming aware and then saying, okay, what would I like to feel, and not judging yourself in the process, not making yourself wrong in the process, but allowing yourself the time and the patience to start practicing something new. So what would feel good? And what would I like to feel more of? And what would I like to think? And then consciously choosing to have those thoughts so that when you catch yourself focusing on something that doesn't necessarily feel so good, again, there's no judgment. This isn't anything you've done wrong or should be upset about, but it's just simply, okay, how can I shift this and start to focus on something else? Because then over time, like I said, this starts to just become more natural, more normal, and you start to change your beliefs. And then once your beliefs start to change, and going back to the beginning where we talked about the weather example, instead of having this belief system that it's never good weather, now all of a sudden you've started to change your belief system, and now it's, I really appreciate all weather. I really appreciate no matter what's happening outside. I find a way to appreciate it all, right? Okay, let's just say that's the new belief system. Well, that belief system feels like love and happiness and kind of like a carefree, like just acceptance. And so now your lens is different. And now your lens is going to actually start to reflect back to you more stuff that feels in alignment with that. Like it's really all about the feeling. Feel what that feels like in your body. You're going to start to experience then more things that feel like that same feeling, right? So get clear on the thoughts that you're currently having. Get clear on where's my focus throughout the day. Get clear on what are my belief systems, and start to choose new thoughts that foster belief systems that feel good to you. And then allow life to reflect that back to you, because it has to. Because once you start seeing with a new lens, you're going to be able to see things in a new way. So I hope that this makes sense. I hope that this helps clarify the concept that what we focus on and what we believe is what creates our reality. Where we focus our attention, our energy, our thoughts is what creates the belief systems that then shapes our perspective, our perception, how we view the world, which then basically controls what we can experience. And so in order to change the lens to allow us to view things or experience things that feel more in alignment with what we desire, we can just go backwards. We can work backwards, work back, and start at the level of the thought. And the way we do it is simply by just starting to become aware. So you're going to notice, just even after watching this video, that you'll start to become more aware. Just by being in the energy of this information, it's going to spark that within you where you're going to start to notice over the next few days. I guarantee it. Come back here in the comments and let me know. But I guarantee it, over the next 3 days or so, you're going to start to notice that you're just starting to become more aware. And you're starting to become more aware of where your thoughts are and how it makes you feel and the things that you're focusing on. And from there, you can start to change it. And the crazy thing is like, this really is a never ending journey, because even for me, with all the years that I've been on this path and doing this work and helping people through this, there are still things that every now and again, I start to just become aware. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. There's my focus when it comes to this particular topic, or what are these thoughts? Okay. Do I like how they feel? And the thing is, you just get better at it, and it just becomes like this more seamless, smooth process where you're just able to identify, and there's no judgment. There's no frustration with yourself. You just can identify it and start to make that switch and move along. So, and I feel like this is another key thing I really want to drive home, but it really is so important not to judge yourself, not to get frustrated with yourself, not to feel like you should already have it figured out or already be there yet, because it's a journey and it does take some practice. And a lot of us weren't necessarily we weren't necessarily taught how to do this, from day one. This is something that now we're kind of learning at whatever stage of life we're in right now. And so just have patience with yourself and understand this is a practice and you're only going to get better. So I hope this helped. Like I said, leave comments down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you want more of. If you want to work with me further, there are links in my bio for you to, and down below, for you to book a single session with me. There's links for you to book a package of sessions for me, with me, not for me. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, you can book a package of sessions with me. And then there's also the link to check out my free 14-day trial of the membership, which is my monthly subscription platform where we just dive into all kinds of stuff like this. There's live monthly calls. There's a living library of content. There's bonus content. There's a community forum, all types of really fun stuff. So you can check that out below as well. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought and just say hi if you're here. All right. I will talk to you guys later and see you in the next video. Bye.